Hi, it's Therese, and I'm going to be getting straight into my technique today, and that's embossing with dies. So I've got a My Favourite Things wonky stitched rectangle, and I'm holding it in place on my cardstock with a couple of pieces of low-tack tape. Now I'm going to run it through my big chop machine, and so that I don't actually cut with this die, what I'm using, I'll tell you the sandwich. It's tab 1, a cutting plate, then I've got my die with the cutting side up, cardstock, and then that black mat there is a silicone mat. They can also sometimes be called tan mat, so they're rubber, and then I have another plate on top, and I just roll that through the die cutting machine, and then I can remove my low tack tape and you'll be able to see the debossed image there. So the rubber mat just stops the die from actually cutting through the cardstock and allows it to make an impression instead. Doesn't it look great? So I'm going to be creating a cupcake to go on the front of my card. It's going to be quite a clean and simple birthday card today. And I haven't used this Mama Elephant set in quite a while, and it's called Carnival Cupcakes. So I'm stamping out the base of the cupcake, and this is some pale tomato ink. And even though this ink sometimes stamps splotchy and it dries a lot sort of smoother, I just thought I might as well stamp it out a couple of times just to see which one gave me the best impression. I'm also going to stamp out some of the images. This is, I'm using some smoky grey, and it's a VersaFine ink, so it's a pigment ink, but it's a fairly fast drying pigment ink because I'm going to be doing some Prismacolouring. And here's the reason why I decided to make a birthday cupcake. It's the little the poles that came in the Dreamboat set from Avery Elle. I thought they'd make great candles, and it'd be really fun to have a nice big candle coming out of a cupcake. So I'm stamping that out in some VersaFine as well, and to get a little flame on top, I'm using one of the stamps from the cupcake toppers set from Mama Elephant, and just doing some selective stamping there. And making sure I remove my low-tack tape before I stamp. You could use a piece of post-it note or washi tape, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to do some really quick colouring here and blending it out with my Gamsol. And I've also got the matching dies for these images, which makes it so much easier. And I'm going to run them through the die cutting machine, and I'll be right back. Now I didn't have a matching die for this candle obviously, so I'm literally just going to cut it out, leaving a small white border to make it look like it was die cut. Now I've got some of this shimmer, it's called a sheer shimmer spritz, and this one is the sparkle one, and oh my goodness, can you see how sparkly that is? That's the first time I've ever used it, and I just love all the shimmer and shine. I'll try to catch it at the video at the end, so hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit better there. And I've just popped that aside to dry while I stamp out, and I'm going to emboss this sentiment. This is also from the Topper set, and I'm using my Misty because after I've done that embossing on the front of the cardstock, I don't want to have to start again. And it is quite a fine stamp. The font in this is really fine, so I'm using this is the Wow super fine bright white powder, and I'm only just getting used to it now, but it does pick up all those little details in the stamp. But you've got to be careful with the fine powders. They do actually cling elsewhere on your cardstock if you're not careful. I'm just going to attach my panel now to the front of my top fold card, and the finished size of that's 15 by 10.5 centimeters, and I'm just using some Tombow to piece together my little cupcake with the candle sticking right out the top there. And then once that's dry, I'll just add some foam squares to the back. These are some Scrapbook adhesives foam squares. I really like these. They are easy to use, except that they get stuck to my fingernails every now and again. And as a final touch, I'm going to pop up my little bunny rabbit with a foam square as well. So that's it for my card today. Thanks for joining me. I'll link all the products at my blog. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye. Oh, there's a shimmer. See it? Bye.